can we at least now admit that it is possible for men to hit the wall as well?
What are you doing, Scarecrow?
As I always say, love is a beautiful thing. As we get older, we sometimes get our heart broken, and we tend to be a little bit more careful about who we choose as our life partner. Because let's face it, we have a lot of things that we need to be cautious about. Let's say marrying the wrong women, losing half of your stuff over a divorce, and so on and so forth. So I can understand why we can be so careful and so adamant about choosing a life partner. And that's why we sometimes take our time to make sure that we have find the one, the soulmate, the one that was supposed to be there for us. But then what happened when we take too long? I mean, way too long. Introducing this brother right here.
I've been trying for so long.
Hey TikTok, it's your boy James Jones, it's me again. You know what, it's beautiful outside. It's a beautiful day. And they said it was supposed to have snowed here in Maryland yesterday. So anyway, I got up, I'm fixing crab cakes, and I already have the beer, I have some Corona Extra. So crab cakes, crackers, I guess I'm gonna do French fries or coleslaw. But kind of wish somebody was close, could stop by and grab a cake and have a good conversation. But other than that, it's a beautiful day outside. So enjoy your day. And once again, do something special for yourself. Just think outside the box. Do something special.
A 70-year-old man who thinks that he's actually ready to settle down and find true love, and he's scouring all over the internet. Well, TikTok mainly. And to tell you how he's a catch. He has a lot to bring to the table.
So I have decided, because the car wash was doing well for a while, and of course, it's just too hot to go out there and do the car wash today. But listen, if you'd like to communicate or chat, leave your name and where you're from. Like I said, I really prefer someone who lived in Maryland or DC. Okay? So anyway, love and respect.
And you see, based on the TikTok videos that I've actually seen of this brother, I don't actually see him as a bad person. He seems to be quite humble, as a matter of fact, the way that he speaks, the way he composes himself, and he seems to be probably 30, 40, maybe 50 years. Was a catch, right? However, I think he played in the sandbox for too long. I think he stayed in the streets for a little bit too long.
It's time that we stop and realize that tomorrow is not promised. It's not promised at all. Now, I am not saying that I didn't have an opportunity at having a relationship with someone who was special, but
and now he's only 70 and he's posting up pictures and looking for the one, looking for his nurse that would come through and actually take care of him, and that would remind him to take his medicine, and that would take him to this doctor's appointment, that would probably have him to flip him over and actually give him a warm hot bath because he can't do it himself. Technically he's looking for a caretaker. Technically at that age he's looking for a caretaker.
It's your boy James Jones. I vowed and said I wasn't going to do any more videos. It seemed like it was just a waste of time. And it wasn't a waste of time because I did meet some people on TikTok. I guess I was just frustrated because of the distance. I don't think that it's kind of hard to date somebody at a distance. So let me just say this. If you live near Baltimore, in the DMV, I should say, then I would love to talk with you, chat with you, meet with you. Other than that, I'm not interested. But thank you. Guys, hit my like button. Okay, love and respect.
The thing that have actually noticed in the comment section about when he's asking for the woman of his life to come through and actually to become his companionship. One thing I also kind of noticed is that, like, I don't think he's looking for a broad his age. Because some of the women that approaches him and stuff like that, right, he would not reply to them. I think he's looking for someone probably around their age of 30, 40 years old. Like, you know, a little young hot thing. That would, like, kind of like what my father did. My dad, he's on his 70s now. And the girl, his new wife, is actually my age. And yes, we have seen this over and over and over again. I think there's a name that we call these brothers, these old gentlemen that are now in this position where they're getting a little bit too old, but not old enough that they cannot pull up a good looking suit. I think we call them the silver foxes.
And I'm going to ask you, and you can just send me a text or a comment. But do you think I would qualify? I see those guys over here. They call themselves the silver foxes. So would I qualify to be a silver fox, or I just maybe a silver knot? I don't know. But it's a good question. Anyway, I do want to do a live on Facebook about relationship, and I still haven't heard from anybody as to whether or not they would participate or come on. I guess I just have to do it and see.
Right? They're probably on their 50s and stuff. And yeah, they probably still got it. You remember this guy, I think, like Mr. Steal Your Grandma? Yeah, listen, it is not that difficult for older men to look good. And it's also not that difficult. Well, it is difficult for them to find a woman that is very young that also has good intention.
But my father is 54 years old and recently married a 35-year-old that lives in Jamaica. And he's telling me he's building a house in Jamaica. He sends her money every week, but he got laid off from work. And she's still expecting him to send money. And he's telling her, I can't send you money because I got laid off from work. I can't work right now. I can't send you money. And so she started threatening to divorce him. And he's like, well, if you're going to divorce me because I can't send you money, then divorce me then. And I think she's actually going through with it. And I'm sitting here and I'm laughing. He's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, you know, she wants money and I'm not working. I'm like, what did you think a 35-year-old from another country was marrying you for? And he goes, well, I'm building a house in Jamaica and I've already put all this money into it. I'm like, yeah, and if she divorces you, how are you going to get possession of that house? You live in Canada, you work in Canada, like, unless that's in your name, and I don't think you were smart enough to do that. But this man really, like, no offense to him, but he really thought this 35-year-old woman who he sends money to every single week was marrying his dusty ass. Because I love my dad, but my dad is a dusty. My dad didn't pay child support. My mom struggled so much because of my father. And to sit back and listen to him not understand that he's not a good partner and she didn't marry him because he's this attractive 54-year-old man. She married him because he had money and she wanted money and he was willing to give money. And now that he's not, she doesn't want to be with him. And I'm sitting here going, I don't know what you expected.
That's the key. Good intention. Because you're expecting a woman to invest in you, to invest in the remainder of your life. And when that person didn't really quite know you that well, didn't really struggle with you, didn't know the good, didn't go through with you through life to experience the good and the bad, and you are at the end of your life, and then now you are ready for love. You are ready for companionship. You're ready to settle down. You're ready to get out of them streets. You're ready to give the rest of your 32nd remainder of your life to the love of your life. Really, nigga?
But it's time that we stop and realize that tomorrow is not promised.
And of course, the comment section wasn't really too kind to this brother. And to be honest with you, I kind of feel sorry for him. You have chicks that saying things like, yo, listen, all right, I'll get with you, but let me know that, you know, you got to make sure that I get all that life insurance and all that stuff, right? And it's like, and people were pointing it out that, you know, take a look at some of the comment section. Let me read some of them for you. As you can see, this video is not so much about this brother, right? It's not so much about this gentleman. It's to show you youngin', to know that, like, when a lot of these red pill talking point are being displayed, are being talked about, know that it comes from a lot of these older gentlemen that kind of failed at life when it comes to relationship. They might be successful when it comes to finances. They might have other success in their life. But when it comes to, let's say, the romance department, I'm sorry, they are failures. If you're at this age and you don't have a woman, you don't have a long-term wife at that point and everything like that, I'm sorry. You don't really have a leg to stand on to tell these young men what to do when it comes to relationship, because your mindset seems to stem from an old perspective where women used to put up with a lot of BS back in the days. And you are now trying to apply the same old thinking of patriarchy in a way that's actually not feasible for today's society. How do I know that? Because you couldn't even keep up. You couldn't even keep your woman. So if you failed at being able to obtain a good quality woman at your age that would actually care enough for you to remind you to take your heart pressure medicine, to remind you to check on your blood pressure, to remind you to go to the doctor so you could have a big name dude named Bob to stick a finger up your ass to check out your prostate.
Oh, shit.
To remind you all of this stuff. If you don't have one of those and you still preaching about like how you 70 years old and you can still pull a young one, brother, I'm sorry, you are a failure at what you are preaching about. Don't get me wrong, I like Kevin Samuel. I think he was awesome. Some of the things that he was saying was on point. But I'm not going to pretend that when it comes down to the romance department, when it comes down to him, he was a failure. Mind you, he went out like a gangster. And to be honest with you, that's exactly how I want to live the rest of my life. That's exactly how I want to reach the pearly gate. Having a nice, round, beautiful ass sitting on my face.
When you guys say sit on our face, do you mean sit or do you mean hover? Cause asking for myself.
Anyway, sorry, my point is this. Some of you young men that are getting advice from these older gentlemen when it comes to love, when it comes to how to treat a wife, when it comes to how to treat a woman, just make sure that the person that you are getting these advice from is from someone who actually has success on the department that he's speaking of. Okay to compartmentalize on who you actually get your advice from. Some people are good at giving advice when it comes to money. Some people are good at giving advice when it comes to how to find prostitution in Colombia. Some people know how to give advice when it comes to other things in life. Some people are really good at giving advice when it comes to relationship. So you can always compartmentalize some of these stuff. You don't have to take advice from random strangers on the internet that doesn't seem to have their stuff together. And to think that at 70 years old now you are ready to settle down and somehow you're going to have the woman of your life to come through and rescue you from yourself. What the hell have you been doing for the past 70 years, mate? But anyway, I'm your host, The Haitian. So share, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm out of here. Peace.
Today. So anyway, I got up. I'm fixing crab cakes, and I already have the beer. I have some Corona Extra. So crab cakes, crackers. I guess I'm gonna do French fries or coleslaw. But kind of wish somebody was close. Could stop by and grab a cake and have a good conversation.
Well, guess what? Buy a dog, die alone. There's a funeral plot.